Let's begin with using a handle pick. My favorite way to start these projects. It's very easy on the hair, particularly since it's got highlights in it. But in general, be careful with the hair because if you overstretch it too much, you pull on it too much, you cause damage to the hair. We don't want damage to the hair. Okay, so in this instance, what we want to do is we're just going to make it nice and square. That means I'm going to come through here and just going to the corners, round off. So there's no sharp edge right there, but rather it curves around. Then as I come to the other side, same thing, just round that off a little bit. I'll show you in a second what I'm doing. Get that the way we want it, and then twist it, right? And then clip it. Step one, let me show you the back. Now, as you can see, when I said curve, that's all I meant. It's just a nice soft curve, not a straight, strong line like so, but rather I just kind of came around. You can see there, it's just gently rounded. See what I mean? Just gently rounded, nothing more than that. Now switching to my cutting comb, I'm going to come to the side section here. And I'm going to come just behind the ear. There's a bone you're going to notice right here. It's right. You can feel it right there. And we're going to take that, and if you to measure that on up, you come right to the top apex. So we're just going to come down the bottom, down to the bottom of it, excuse me. And that's going to give us our side section. And then using a duckbill. Is that a duckbill? Well, using a clip, we're going to take and get that out of the way. Come over here, doing the same, exact same. And you want to twist it because it helps it to remain more tidy. It's going to help you accomplish your goals even better. Then we're going to work on the back. Now, because we're working with so much more hair, I want to go back to my handle pick because it'll be much, much better for me to do so. Let me see if I can get this at a really good angle so you can see this better. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Because I'm just going to come down the middle. Once that's done, yep, down the middle. And then, really could have used my cutting comb for that, couldn't I? I'm just going to take and clean this out. I'm going to use a monster clip because there's so much more hair. That one's out of the way. Now they're both out of the way, as you can see right here. The next thing I want to do is I want to come in and take my section here, go from the bottom corner up to the top of the ear. Then I'm going to take this individual here and just put it out of the way so that what I now have is a nice good angle coming through here. Easy peasy. You could do that all day long and never even break a sweat. On this side is the same exact movement. Top of the ear, down to the bottom. I went back in and kept balancing it out, taking a little bit more until I get more of a consistent thickness. That's better to work with. In this instance too, I'm not really going to be changing the length. We don't need to be cutting off a bunch of length for this. All we're going to do is just refine it. For this cut, as we go along, we're going to continue to change that. Okay, we're done enough. Everything's looking good. Now I'm going to use a chair so I can get out of your way. You can see more of what I'm doing. And I'm going to take and come in the middle or center portion here. I'm just going to clean this away. Then I'm going to use the fine tooth portion of my comb, clean it on down, and I'm just going to refine it. Now let's say, for instance, after cutting this a few times, the client's looking for some change. They'd like to try something different. What could they do? Well, you could cut this, literally, keep the length, cut it with clippers, and that would give it a really nice, soft kind of a texture on the ends. I do that frequently. Or use a razor. That would give it to you too. I'm going to take my next section, incorporate some of the other side, bring it on down, and then just bring it across. In this instance, zero elevation. There we go. Now I'm going to work my way up the top until I'm completed. And because of that, I no longer need the two sections. Now I have found over the years that I always prefer to use a little bit of purified water. So I have a water purifier back in the kitchen area. And we always get access to that when we want to just use water that does not have a bunch of minerals or anything like that at all. You notice I keep now using the fine tooth of my comb wherever I possibly can. Now, the reason why it works so well is because when you clarify and then you turn around and you use the good conditioning, in this instance, I used the Olaplex, I think step number 2. And I just let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, change the porosity a bit, get it feeling really good. I always use the same products on my mannequins that I would use on my clients because I want to have the same exact texture or feel of the hair so that I become not only accustomed to it, but if I'm not getting what I want in that regard on a client, I notice it right away. That helps me keep the quality very high. Okay, you can see by my body mechanics, I'm ever so slightly behind as opposed to totally parallel. Here's the side of the face, and I'm just a little bit off of that. Reason why? It brings this back slightly, corner of my leg just fine. I had to pull them together and to check and see if they are even. On to the next step. Now we're going to start selecting the length of the front and where we're going to start inserting longer layers. Going to do that first by cleaning this out. Now, although I'm taking this whole top area, what I'm going to do right now is separate out about an inch. Get this out of the way. Here's my inch. Right about there. It can be more. In fact, this probably is. Keep it equally damp. Come to the center section. From that center piece, select where your length will be and establish that dead center. Don't take a section any wider than, let's say, 1 inch across. And I'm just going over to the corner of my parting hair. So the two parietal ridge where that starts, the frontalis, I'm just taking those sections there. What I really want at this point is more of a curve for this particular time. So I'm going to take that section from all the way over here. I'm going to bring it completely over to the other side. Let's try to do that without pulling her off. And I'm just going to angle it so that right here, you can see that the angle is exactly parallel to the back length. And then just cut that off, okay? When you do that, you're going to get that nice long piece. Same thing, bring it all the way over. Nice, same angle. Take that off, and because of my over direction, I have length. Now I've come back to the top of the crown, approximately the apex of the head. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entire section from just in front of the ear. Let me show you where I'm looking. I'm going to take the entire section from here, and that's barely in front of the ear, isn't it? Let's just call it the ear. So we can take this entire section from approximately middle of the ear, bring it forward. I'm working my way up, giving it some elevation. I want the edges all to be soft, not particularly firm. And I'm coming in looking at this section down here. That's the part I'm looking at. So I don't want to cut that corner too much, but I do want to blend it some. So I come in through here. There's my corner piece. I just tape and tie that in. If I want to change that texture a little bit so it matches a little bit better here, just do a little point cutting while I'm there. Drop it. And you see my angle is going to go all the way down to the length.